It's 2:47 in the morning. You've been asleep for 40 minutes, the first 40 minutes of real sleep you've had since your shift started 19 hours ago. Then the tones drop. In the next 90 seconds, you will go from dead asleep to fully geared up on a truck, moving toward a burning building. Your heart rate will spike to 170 beats per minute before you've taken a single step inside. The family standing on the lawn, the mother in a nightgown, the kids wrapped in a neighbor's blanket, they're looking at you like you're the only thing standing between them and the worst night of their lives. You are. Now here's the part they don't put on the recruitment poster. The average career firefighter in America earns $56,000 a year. In some cities, less. And when their knees give out at 52, because they will, the job won't give them much warning. So how much do firefighters actually make? What does the job really take? And is the badge worth what it costs? There are roughly 327,000 career firefighters in the United States, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Add in the volunteer force, the backbone of rural America, and that number jumps to over 1.1 million people who run toward fire for a living. Career firefighters are full-time, salaried employees of municipal, county, or state governments. They work out of permanent firehouses, typically on 24-hour or 48-hour rotating shifts. Most are also cross-trained as emergency medical responders. In many departments, over 70% of their calls have nothing to do with fire at all. Medical emergencies, car accidents, hazmat situations, water rescues, and welfare checks make up the majority of the job. The states with the highest concentrations of career firefighters are California, Texas, New York, Florida, and Illinois. But the pay varies so dramatically between those states that a firefighter in San Jose and a firefighter in rural Mississippi might be doing the same job for entirely different financial realities. This is a profession built on a schedule most people would find disorienting, and a culture that runs so deep, people stay in it long after the money stops making sense. Let's start with what the BLS actually reports. The median annual wage for firefighters in 2023 was $56,880. That's the midpoint. Half earn more, half earn less. Entry level is where it gets sobering. A new firefighter, a probationary probie, typically starts between $38,000 and $48,000 a year, depending on the city. In smaller municipalities or rural counties, that opening salary can dip below $35,000. You're working 24-hour shifts responding to genuine emergencies and making less than a starting manager at a big box retail store. After 5 to 10 years, once you've made driver/engineer or lieutenant, pay climbs meaningfully. Mid-career firefighters in mid-sized cities typically earn between $58,000 and $75,000. In high cost-of-living cities, that number looks different. San Jose, California pays career firefighters a base salary that starts around $94,000 and reaches well past $120,000 with overtime and longevity pay. New York City firefighters top out around $100,000 in base pay before overtime. Chicago, Seattle, Boston, all well above the national median. But here's what those headline numbers hide. Overtime is often baked into how departments are staffed. Many firefighters work significant overtime, sometimes 600 to 800 extra hours a year, because departments are understaffed and can't backfill shifts. That overtime inflates total compensation considerably, but it also means you're physically at work far more than a 40-hour week implies. Pay structure matters too. Most career firefighters are paid an annual salary, not hourly, though overtime accrues on top of base. Union membership and most career departments are unionized through the International Association of Firefighters, the IAFF. Typically means better wages, stronger health benefits, and defined benefit pension plans. In non-union or smaller departments, those protections disappear. What does the paycheck actually look like after deductions? In a union department with pension contributions, healthcare premiums, and union dues, a firefighter earning $56,000 gross might take home $38,000 to $42,000 net. In a state with no income tax, it's a bit better. In California or New York, the gap widens. The pension is the piece most outsiders miss. Many career firefighters vest into defined benefit retirement plans after 20 to 25 years of service, often retiring in their mid-40s with a pension worth 50% to 80% of their final salary. That deferred compensation is real money, but only if your body makes it that far. A 24-hour shift starts at 0800. You show up, relieve the outgoing crew, and the first 2 hours are administrative. Equipment checks, apparatus inspections, inventory of medical supplies. Every truck, every tool, every piece of breathing apparatus gets verified. If it's broken when you need it, someone dies. By 10 a.m., there's usually a morning drill. Not optional, not informal, structured training. Firefighting is a perishable skill. Departments drill on search and rescue patterns, ladder operations, hose lays, hazmat protocols. You don't wait for a real fire to practice. Lunch is communal. This is one of the things that surprises outsiders most about firehouse culture. You cook together, eat together, clean up together. The firehouse kitchen isn't just a kitchen. It's where crew cohesion gets built. You'll spend more waking hours with these people than with your own family. The running joke in every firehouse is that somebody always burns the rice. Doesn't matter which department, which city, somebody always burns the rice. The afternoon might bring 2 or 3 calls. Most are EMS. A diabetic emergency in a parking lot, a fall at a nursing home, a teenager who took too much of something at a party. You treat people in their worst moments, in their homes, on their bathroom floors, in circumstances no amount of training fully prepares you for emotionally. Then, sometime around 6 p.m., the tones drop for a structure fire. Everything shifts. You're on the truck in under 2 minutes. By the time you arrive, smoke is venting from the eaves of a 2-story house. The incident commander reads the building, positions crews. You mask up. The SCBA pack adds 25 to 30 pounds to your gear load, which is already 60 pounds, and you go in. Inside a working structure fire, visibility drops to 0 within feet. You're crawling, feeling along walls, reading heat through your gear. The noise is wrong, not just crackling, but a low structural groan that tells you this building is making decisions you haven't made yet. You have a partner. You communicate constantly. You don't freelance. The fire gets knocked down. You do salvage and overhaul, pulling apart walls to find hotspots, making sure there's no reignition. By the time you're back at the house, cleaned up and sitting down, it's 11 p.m. The physical toll of this job is not a secret. It just gets normalized until it's too late. Cancer is the leading cause of line-of-duty death for firefighters in the United States, surpassing traumatic injuries. The International Association of Firefighters reports that roughly 66% of firefighter line-of-duty deaths are cancer-related. Burning structures release hydrogen cyanide, benzene, formaldehyde, and dozens of other carcinogens. For decades, many firefighters didn't wash their gear after fires, didn't realize the soot on their skin and in their lungs was accumulating. The job has gotten better about this, but the exposure is real, and the research is ongoing. Beyond cancer, the musculoskeletal breakdown is relentless. Knees, hips, lower back, rotator cuffs. You're doing heavy physical work in awkward positions, sometimes for hours, with 60-plus pounds on your body. Most career firefighters carry some combination of chronic joint problems by their mid-40s. Then there's the psychological weight. PTSD rates among firefighters are significantly elevated compared to the general population. The calls that stay with you aren't always the dramatic ones. Sometimes it's a child. Sometimes it's someone who looked like your father. Departments vary widely in how seriously they take mental health. Some have robust peer support programs. Others still carry a culture of silence around it. The lifestyle cost is real too. Shift work disrupts everything. Your holidays rotate. Your kids' events get missed on a schedule you didn't choose. The divorce rate in the profession is high. Not uniquely so, but the hours and the psychological weight compound over time. To enter the profession, you'll need EMT certification at minimum, typically a few $100s and several weeks of training. Many departments now require a fire science degree or a Fire Academy certificate. The full pathway from civilian to hired firefighter can take 2 to 4 years of preparation, multiple rounds of testing, and physical agility evaluations that wash out a significant percentage of applicants. People leave for a few reasons. The pay, early on, doesn't match the reality of the job. The schedule erodes relationships. And, for some, the accumulating weight of what they've seen becomes too much to carry inside a system that doesn't always offer enough support. The people who stay, they're not staying for the money. This job is right for you if you can handle radical uncertainty, if you genuinely don't need to know what your day looks like before it starts, if you want work that is physically demanding in a way that keeps you present, not numbed, if you can build deep trust with a small group of people and find meaning in showing up for strangers on the worst days of their lives. The comradeship in this job is not a cliche. It's structural. You eat together, sleep under the same roof, cover each other in burning buildings. That builds something that most workplaces never come close to. The pay is not the draw. It never has been. Entry-level salaries in most departments don't compensate adequately for the physical and psychological demands of the work. Mid-career pay improves, and the pension, if you survive to collect it, is meaningful. But you're not building wealth on a firefighter's salary in most American cities. You're building a life organized around the job. So, is it worth it? For the right person, yes. Genuinely, structurally, yes. But that person needs to know what they're walking into: the cancer risk, the shift work, the psychological exposure, the entry-level wage that will make them question their choices more than once. There are over 300,000 people in this country who chose this. They keep choosing it, shift after shift, year after year. That's worth understanding. If you're a firefighter or you've worked in fire service, drop your experience in the comments. We read everyone. Next week, oil rig worker, the real numbers, the real life, and why 300,000 people quit every year.